Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
We didn't get everything we wanted, and I'm pleased to see today we were able to come together on a core infrastructure package and with the commitment from Republicans and Democrats alike that we're going to get this across the finish line.
Tragic scenes of a collapsed condominium complex.
12-story building.
Danger of additional collapse.
51 missing people.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome in. It is News and Views for a Thursday, Political Trivia Thursday. Unfortunately, that tower collapsed down in Miami, the Champlain Towers condominium. Now they're saying, as of 3 o'clock, that 99 people are reported missing. The 12-story condo built in Surfside, Florida, was built in 1981. 40 years old, and it was due for a 40-year inspection. It is made of concrete and reinforced steel. The building, they don't know why it collapsed. And one person they know has passed away as a result. This was not a slum. I mean, this is in the high rent district. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump rented an apartment just a block away from this tower that collapsed. This was the condos in this tower sold for as much as $900,000 for a 3-bedroom condo. $600,000 to $900,000 for one of the units in this condo. So this was not some rundown, dilapidated building that was in disrepair. This was very much high end, even though it was 40 years old. 40 years old is 40 years old, but I wouldn't consider that so antiquated that it was due to fall down. It was within, you could see the Atlantic Ocean from the balconies on this piece of property. So we'll continue to follow that. Right now, one person they know has lost their life, 99 missing. Unfortunately, I don't want to sound negative, but that's not a good report at this point for 99 people to be missing. We will get to the infrastructure package in a little bit. Doing a report first, though. The Carolina Journal is reporting checks on the governor's emergency powers were included in the Senate budget proposal we talked about 2 days ago. Benny talked with Senator Perry about it in a little more detail yesterday. But in the Senate package is basically the reining in of the governor. Now, I fully expect the governor to veto the package anyway. But nonetheless, the Senate has included in their package the ability to rein in the governor's emergency powers. Under the proposed change, the governor has 10 days from issuing an emergency executive order to get the concurrence of the majority of the Council of State, without which it would automatically expire. If the Council of State does approve an emergency declaration, it may continue for a maximum of 45 days, according to this new bill. Any emergency declaration extended beyond 45 days would require approval from majorities in the North Carolina General Assembly. Quite frankly, that is a good description of what I think, when this bill was originally put into place, was the intent. The intent of these emergency powers is to get us over some emergency short-term crisis. Said it before, a tornado hits, a hurricane hits. There's a major catastrophe, such as a tower collapsing. The governor has 10 days to address that because we do not always have the time to go through the legislative process. So he has emergency powers. Call in the Council of State. Get them to extend it to 45 days. That gives the legislature plenty of time to come in. North Carolina is only one of 15 states with no time limit on an emergency declaration. This from Senator Bill Rabone, who is one of the sponsors, the primary sponsor of this bill. No single person should have unchecked authority to wield emergency powers for an indefinite period of time. It's inconsistent with the basic idea of representative democracy. Well, I got news for you. Most Democrats, they would like to undo our republic. Strong sentiments were echoed in the North Carolina House leadership this spring. House Majority Leader John Bell of Wayne County has consistently called for stronger accountability going forward to avoid unseen situations such as we have now with this COVID-19. As for the final passage into the law, the question of Governor Cooper's political capital and whether he has enough to veto yet another budget, which, again, I think he will veto it. Whether or not they can override the veto will remain to be seen. I don't see why it would be overridden. It's never been overridden in the past. We will see. Some political observers have interpreted this and other politically controversial provisions of the Senate budget bill as virtually guaranteeing a veto. Others speculate that this issue in particular may animate Democrats to think in wider balance of powers terms. Now, the Democrats aren't going to think that way. They didn't last time. The governor will do something to hold them at bay, some sort of blackmail over their heads. Ultimately, that question won't be answered until lawmakers finish the budget and send it to the governor's desk to find out. You know, what's really sad and infuriating about this is the blatant abuse of power by Cooper. Anyone with any sense of what is equitable, anyone with any sense of fairness and decency would immediately recognize that what Cooper has done is nothing short of malfeasance. Legislation that was originally formed and passed with the intention of being something that is for the good and for the safety of all North Carolinians has been turned on its head and is being used in a power-hungry way by one individual by the name of Cooper to perpetuate an agenda that a large percentage, if not a majority, of North Carolina citizens find repugnant. And this is a prime example of what John Adams meant when he said our Constitution, our way of government, was only meant and could only be continued with a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. And again, what I mean by that is Governor Cooper ought to know better. He ought to know that he is here to serve the people. How can he possibly look at his abuse of this power and say, I am doing this for the good of North Carolinians? The fact that he is still holding on to this, it's ridiculous. And yet he and Joe Biden were over there in Raleigh today trying to rally the troops to go out and get more vaccinations. I don't think they would have gotten vaccinated by now. By the way, there was a piece of legislation that's being proposed. See if I can find it in my pile here. A representative up in D.C. has wanted to, or is coming up with a piece of legislation that basically would make it illegal for not only governments to have a vaccine passport, but would also make it illegal for businesses to demand that you get vaccinated to come back to work. I know in particular of one individual here in eastern North Carolina who has been working out of their home for some period of time now, and now the business wants to bring everybody back into the office, which I understand. If you're a business, if that's how you want to operate, that's how you operate. But they're also saying, but before you come back in, you have to be vaccinated. Well, this individual, he isn't going to go there. A Republican lawmaker plans to introduce a bill sometime today to ban private businesses from mandating proof of COVID-19 vaccination for employees, saying such requirements are an inherent violation of civil liberties. If approved, the bill would also ban the federal government from mandating vaccine passports and limit states from doing so. Quote, they're not really providing a rational basis for discriminatory activity. They're busy separating healthy people from other healthy people on the presumption that people without a vaccine are not healthy. So says Representative Warren Davidson of Ohio. It's a violation of their civil liberties. The bill, dubbed as the Vaccine Passport Prevention Act, would bar the federal government from issuing any form of vaccine passport, ban states from doing the same as a condition of receiving federal funds, and bar businesses connected to interstate commerce from requiring any patron or customer to provide any documentation certifying COVID-19 vaccinations or post-transmission recovery as a condition of service. I agree with this. Personally, I do not think that you should. Now, I also agree that businesses ought to be able to have some leeway in how they run their businesses. I don't want the government to be overly involved in dictating to businesses, but I do not understand how, and again, Benny and I have talked about this before, in past situations when we're fighting the flu and we have flu vaccines come out, if a flu vaccine comes out and you have just a few dozen people die as a result of getting the vaccine, it's immediately removed from the marketplace, and until they can find out, okay, what's wrong with it, and can we fix what's killing people. In the case of the COVID-19 vaccines, we have numerous cases. Children receiving the vaccines are having enlarged hearts and heart issues. We've had over, I think it's close to 4,000 people who have died now who have received the vaccine. Talked about last week, 4 British Air airline pilots, healthy, got the vaccine, and within 2 weeks they were all dead. And now you're mandating, these businesses are mandating, go out and get this? I mean, okay, I realize even at 4,000 deaths, the percentages overall are fairly low. But in the past, when we've had a few dozen people die from the flu vaccination, we took it off the market, and yet we're continuing not only to leave it on the market, but we're continuing to encourage people to go out and get it and acting as if they're unpatriotic if they don't. Wow. Carolina Journal is also reporting Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson and the Senate top officer are calling out Charlotte-Mecklenburg school leaders after the state's second largest school system paid $25,000 to a top proponent of critical race theory. You wonder whether critical race theory has come to North Carolina? Yeah, it has. The payment covered Ibram X. Kente's virtual presentation last week at the Charlotte School District's Summer Leadership Conference. Quote, "This is clear and direct evidence that critical race theory is being pushed in North Carolina," so our lieutenant governor said in a statement released yesterday from the state Senate. The fact that a public school district would pay someone who chooses to teach others that the only remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination is unimaginable. This kind of thinking does not help us move forward from the days of Jim Crow. In fact, it's leading us back to them. This makes it clear that the left is working to bring back a racial divide and not unity. It is time that we all take a stand as Americans against critical race theory. Phil Berger joined Robinson in highlighting Kente's presentation for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. Quote, to say critical race theory isn't in North Carolina schools, the state's second largest school district paid $25,000 for this presentation. By the way, Kente came out today and said, "Oh no, I'm not a proponent of critical race theory." You're kidding me? He's the leading author pushing critical race theory. It's here, folks. You better pay attention what's in your school district. You better pay attention. Hey, we've got to take a time out. We come back. Civitas has got a new poll out, and people are not happy with the vice president. Guess who wins in a head-to-head matchup if the election were to be held today between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? Stay with us. We'll have that when we get back.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's what the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas. You got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Maribella's and the great pizza that you get at Maribella's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern living's best small town.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. 22 minutes past the top of the hour, and the weather is looking great. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Perfect to go out to the town commons and hear some good music. Mark Miller's on the line with us from 107.9. I got it. Mark, welcome back in. Big time tonight, huh?
Hey, Tom, man, it is a great night. We saw it last Thursday. It was great, and it was. Today is even better. There's no humidity. It's not too hot. It is the perfect summer night. We got great live music. The band is called Night Years. They're a North Carolina band. In fact, one of their lead singers was on American Idol like 7 years ago.
Yeah, from Goldsboro.
Maggie Rose is her name. Yeah, that's right. It's from Goldsboro. And if you followed her back then, you can cheer her on right now. She's doing great. And this band is a party band. We talked about Liquid Pleasure, kind of playing stuff from every decade, right?
Right.
There's a similar vibe about this band. They're going to get you up. They're going to get you moving. They're going to sound incredible here at the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater. And you're going to do some dancing. It's going to be a good night.
So if you had to give a couple of their songs that they're going to lead with, we're talking about 60s, 70s, 80s music or all kinds?
You're going to get, they'll go anywhere from Bruno Mars to Michael Jackson to, if they want to slow it down, they'll go down to, the 60s. They'll go, you pick a decade, they're going to pick your favorite songs from them and blow your mind, actually. If you haven't heard them before, they're a really, really fun band. And they got the brass section. This is a big band, too.
Wow.
They've got there's 10 deep. They're on the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater tonight.
So they hit the stage at 6 o'clock?
That is correct. Get here a little bit before, though, because, the seats fill up fast. We got a nice crowd here already. And we have got food trucks. People are lining up to make some orders at all the food trucks right there on First Street. You got the adult beverages. You want to get here. You want to get yourself your food, get set, and then have a seat when it starts at 6 o'clock. So get here as soon as you can.
And Mark Miller is down there giving out autographs. So
I will sign things. Well, I mean, in theory, like okay,
as long as it's not a check, right?
It's never actually happened. But in theory, if someone asked for it, I would totally give it.
All right, Mark.
For that. Okay.
Have fun tonight. We'll see you down there.
Bet.
Sounds great. All right, there you go. Majesty Rose and Night Years hitting the stage in about 35 minutes down at the Town Common. Hey, don't forget, it is political trivia. We'll play in about 15 minutes. Your category, James Buchanan. I test drove the question. It went quick. All right, so I'm just telling you, if you're going to hang around and wait until you're like the 8th caller, you're probably not going to win. It's going to go quick. We'll play in a little bit. By the way, weather and your updated concert report brought to you by our friends at Ironwood Golf and Country Club, voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row. Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino designed course, full-service dining, an outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood, pay zero initiation fees. Call 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville. 252-752-4653. Be a part of the best Ironwood Golf and Country Club. And I'm telling you, if you love golf, Ironwood is in excellent shape. I mean, it is so lush. They've just redone the cart path. They've just redone the bunkers and the greens and the tee boxes and the fair. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like 5-star resort. Go out and have a good time. Civitas has come out with a new poll. It's rather interesting. Now, the next presidential election is eons away. And in political years, it's decades away. But nonetheless, the latest Civitas poll found that a narrow majority of likely voters disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing, with 46 approval, 48 disapproval, 4% refused to say. They probably just hung up on him. Approval was highest in the Raleigh-Durham area. The lowest marks for, maybe this is a reflection of the fact that we're constantly putting Joe Biden under the microscope. Maybe it's because here on News and Views, we've been calling him Cousin Eddie for the last 10, 12 years. In his lowest approval comes from the coastal part of the state. That's us. Maybe we're having an impact. As the school year comes to a close and a debate over the teaching of critical race theory, a majority of likely voters are unhappy with the direction of education in North Carolina. Likely voters across the state were asked whether they believed in education in North Carolina, whether it was headed in the right direction or on the wrong track. 55% of those surveys said they believe education was on the wrong track. 26 said it was headed in the right direction. That's a pretty hefty shift. I mean, and the balance, they didn't respond. The disapproval for education was even stronger among parents with school-age children. Now, they're the ones that are really going to be paying attention, and they're the ones you really have to take note of. I mean, let's face it, a lot of us that don't have kids in school are not going to be paying as close attention as those with school-age kids. Parents with school-age kids said 69% said, no, the education in North Carolina is not going in the right direction. 69%. It's no surprise that so many North Carolinians believe that education is on the wrong track. They want a public education system laser-focused on academic excellence, but too often find schools committed to ideological conformity and left-wing political mobilization, said Terry Stoops, director of the John Locke Foundation Center for Effective Education. Terry, yeah, you got it. Respondents were also asked if they believe classroom instruction in local kindergarten through 12th grades has become more or less political. A clear majority, 65%, stated they believe classrooms have become more political in the last 5 years, whereas only 4% believe classrooms have become less political. 65 to 4%. 13% said they don't see any difference. The public perception of politicalization in the classroom is unmistakable and could have an impact on the high level of dissatisfaction, Stoops went on to say. Respondents were then asked about their support for a recently proposed bill in North Carolina General Assembly that would require teachers to post copies of lesson plans used during the prior school year. A plurality of 43% of those surveys expressed their support for such a bill. 34 opposed, 14 were unsure. A June Civitas poll conducted by Single on behalf of John Locke also surveyed likely voters gauging their perspective on personal finances and taxes. When asked their opinion on which states were the most competitive, those with higher or lower taxes, 51% said they believed states with lower taxes were more competitive. 15% said they believed with states with higher taxes were more competitive. Those 15% probably work for the government. Just saying. The survey then sought to understand voters' perception on recently introduced tax reform bill in the state Senate, which would lower the personal income tax and eliminate corporate income tax by 2028. Among other things, majorities of Republicans, 67%, and unaffiliated voters, 50%, and a plurality of Democrats, 42%, voiced their support for such a bill. Now we get to the interesting part. The other part, now this is in a whole different poll. This is out of Just the News, and this was a poll by McLaughlin and Associates. And this deals more with the vice president. While Biden's popularity is in decline, his vice president may be even in worse shape, so says Just the News. The vice president's handling of illegal immigration crisis, as the administration's borders are, and a widely panned trip to Guatemala and Mexico City earlier this month appear to have taken a toll on her image. According to the most recent survey, she is now underwater, 47% rating her favorably, 48% unfavorably. Among those with strong opinions about her, the numbers are especially bleak. 38% taking a very unfavorable view of her, just 27% with a very, very favorable view of her. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If there was a head-to-head matchup today between the vice president, now this would be for president, between Kamala Harris, and by the way, interesting caveat to all this, even though her approval rating is on the decline, 64% of respondents to this survey said they believe that Kamala Harris will be president before the end of Joe Biden's 4-year term. Even amongst Biden-specific voters, say 51% of those voters say Harris will be president before 2024. So with that in mind, if she were to be running head-to-head with Donald Trump, Trump wins 49% to 45%. I know. It's a long, long way away. But not looking good for Cousin Eddie, because we don't even think he's going to be president. Not looking good for Kamala Harris, the laughing hyena. Meghan McCain had some interesting things. Yeah, there she goes. There she goes, flying by. Meghan McCain. Boy, she went after Joe Biden. You know, Joe Biden and Catholicism and the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has been in the news a lot. We've talked about it. The bishops voted overwhelmingly, 70-some%, to agree that politicians who embrace unbiblical views of marriage and sexuality, as well as those who are pro-abortion, should be barred from taking the Lord's Supper, the Eucharist, which is a big deal in Catholicism. We mentioned this guy Huffman from California, mentioned a couple of days ago how he wants to propose legislation that would take away the tax-exempt status of the Catholic Church in retaliation. By the way, remember, we do have a First Amendment, which the Constitution does protect the rights of free religion, and the government will make no laws concerning religion or the practice thereof. But this guy wants to pass something on that. And by the way, this guy Huffman, he's the biggest atheist coming down the pike. He wants to do everything he can to basically smash the church. But Meghan McCain came out on The View. I don't like to quote The View, but every now and then, even a broken clock is right twice a day. McCain criticized Joe Biden's position on abortion, saying it is illogical to personally oppose the procedure while supporting its legalization. This is Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter. If you are a devout Catholic, as President Biden claims to be, abortion is a cardinal sin, she said. It can do deep spiritual harm to you. His official stance, by the way, he is politically opposed or personally opposed to abortion, but doesn't feel that he had the right to impose this view on the rest of the country. For someone who claims to be pro-life, I never understand this argument. Now, he certainly wants to impose his view on eliminating the Hyde Amendment. He says, personally, I am opposed to abortion, but he wants to eliminate the Hyde Amendment. Why are you willing to impose that, Joe, but you're not willing to impose your quote, pro-life ideology, which is a joke. We know where your ideology is. Quote, she goes on to say, it's like saying I'm personally opposed to murder, but if you want to murder just a little bit, it's fine because it's not my problem. It doesn't register with me. I don't get it. If he's for federal funding of abortion, as far as I'm concerned, abortion is murder, and that means government funding of killing of the unborn, and we have to, as pro-lifers, fight for the rights of the unborn, she said. She goes on to say, he's walking a very fine line here, and ultimately, all of these issues are literally life and death for Catholics, for devout Christians, and he's going to ultimately, this is where she actually played the part of Nathan the prophet here. He's actually going to ultimately have to talk to his Creator when the time comes, as we all do, and reconcile his politics with his personal faith. Wow. Frankly, I'm not a big Meghan McCain fan, but you go, girl. You go. Hey, let's lighten things up. Let's have some fun and play some political trivia, shall we? 561-8255. Got a great prize package with probably 150 buckaroonies. Your category, James Buchanan. It's going to go fast, so give us a call, 561-8255. We'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring.
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom, and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
All right, welcome back in. Time for a little political trivia. Your category, James Buchanan. And today's prize package, we've got a free oil change for your car or pickup at Dave Davis's East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. A gift certificate from Fit for Life 24, including 2 free training sessions with a coach. Got a gift certificate to University PC Care. We've got a $20 gift card to the Pirates Cove Car Wash. We've got a proud partner there in the ECU Curtis Car program. A gift card for a free round of golf at Ironwood. A $20 gift card to Mucho Bueno for lunch or dinner. Mucho Bueno, real Mexican street food located in front of the Westbrook Shopping Center, US 70 West in Havelock. And a $20 gift card to Gwendy's Goodies Bakery in Ayden. Delicious baked, fresh, made from scratch goodies. Remember, if you or anyone in your immediate family have won recently, let 60 days pass before you play again. Up first from Winterville, we've got Ray on the line. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So, you think you know something about James Buchanan?
No, he was the president.
There you go. Well, that's not the question. Here's your question. James Buchanan, the 15th president of the United States from 1857 to 1861, he remains the only president to be elected from Pennsylvania, unless you count Joe Biden. But there's another interesting bit of unique trivia about James Buchanan that can only be said of him and no other president. What is that bit of trivia?
Well, one thing I ever heard about him that he was, openly gay and rumored to be gay the whole time he was president.
That is a rumor, but that is not what we're looking for. And at this point, I think that's still just a rumor. But I would say
he can't only live with the same guy, 30 years.
That is not what we're looking for. But you actually have sort of cracked the door open on the answer, Ray. So I'll tip my hat to you, but that's not the answer we're looking for. But that's a pretty strong hint, Ray. 561-8255. Let's go to Chocowinity and Ron. Hey, Ron.
Hey, I tell you what, I lucked out. Thank you, Ray.
What do you think the answer is?
He's the only bachelor ever elected, the only single president.
Bingo! And by the way, that's it. and by the way, an interesting little additional piece of trivia, there was a woman by the name of Ann Coleman who he was engaged to, but she died before they were going to get married. So don't know about the rumor, but Ron, you got it. That's it. Congratulations.
Right,
I knew it'd go quick. Hang on the line.
Wow.
Clark's going to get all your information. We got a boatload of goodies to get out to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your trade has never been worth more. Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. Sell us your old car for cash, up to 125% of book value. Or trade up to Camry, just $189 a month. Get paid to trade. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. We'll pay you up to 125% of book value, even if you don't buy from us. Or trade up to Corolla, just $159 a month. Don't settle for less. Get more for your trade. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Congratulations to Ron Hasselman of Chocowinity. He got it right. James Buchanan remains the only president to be a lifelong bachelor. And Ray, there are rumors out there that James Buchanan might have been switch hitting. Nancy Pelosi, ever eager to paint those on the political right as racist, declared that the root causes of January 6th, the Capitol siege, it was very simple. It was white supremacy, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia. Here's what she said when a reporter asked, is there a timeline that you want this committee to have the final report to you? Who will this committee report to, and what does the final report look like?
As it takes for them the time they need to do the investigation of the causes of this. There are two actual paths. One is about the root causes of it, the white supremacy, the anti-Semitism, the Islamophobia, all the rest of it that was so evident when you see a sweatshirt on one of the people saying Camp Auschwitz. The other is the security of the Capitol and what it means to be ready for such an insurrection. While I think we could have been better prepared, I don't think anybody would have foreseen an insurrection incited by the President of the United States.
Well, there were a lot of people that foresaw it, and there were a lot of people that came to you, Queen Nancy, and said, you better increase security. You better call in the National Guard, and you didn't do it. But, you know, the other interesting thing is why, I mean, you appear to have the answer. Why do you have this committee? Why are you going to say, and look, they'll end up spending in excess of $1 million on this investigation. Guarantee it. She already knows the answer. She just said it. According to her, it was white supremacy, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia. And speaking of anti-Semitism, the leading anti-Semites are Democrats. So are you going to use this report to get rid of some of these anti-Semites? I mean, they're in your party. But why bother having an investigation? According to you, you already know the answer. Joe Biden today announced the White House has struck an infrastructure deal with a bipartisan group of senators after weeks of painstaking back and forth negotiations. Look, I've not seen the details. The details haven't been released. They've got some general numbers here. Some of these numbers, you wonder, what the heck does that mean? They've got $47 billion in the spending proposal. $47 billion is under the title of resilience. What the blankety blank does that mean? You've got broadband infrastructure, $65 billion, water infrastructure, $55 billion, infrastructure financing, $20 billion. I guess we've got to go out and borrow $20 billion to pay for the financing of the money that we don't have that we're going to spend on this. Roads, bridges, and other major projects, $109 billion. Rail service, $66 billion. So it's fairly, but again, resilience, $47 billion. I'm not sure what that means. Here's the thing. When there's give and take in these things, the Republicans always get screwed. And you're going to have to find out what the fine print says. But at the end of the day, the Republicans and the taxpayers will get screwed. It's just that simple. It always happens that way. Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who met with Biden on Wednesday night, have indicated they will support a bipartisan plan, but with the caveat that Democrats independently pursue a larger reconciliation package that includes trillions in funding for issues like elder and child care, education, health care, and climate change. Trillions. Not billions, but trillions. So basically what they've done is in the name of, because look, this package as it was not getting any traction, was never going to get through Congress. And the American people saw most of the American people that are informed saw right through it, that what it was a package that would, and look, even in this infrastructure package, the biggest financial windfall is going to go to unions. But now they're coming out and saying, okay, well, we got to have another package that will really be for all the goodies that we want. But here's the thing. They call it a reconciliation package. This is not a reconciliation package. You know, reconciliation is the way they get their pet projects through with just 50 votes in the Senate instead of 60. Reconciliation, essentially, a way Congress enacts legislation on taxes, spending, and the debt limit with only a majority of 51 votes. In this case, it would be all the Democrats plus the vice president. Since its first use in 1980, reconciliation has been used to enact 22 bills as of April of 2021. But listen, the whole idea of reconciliation is, okay, we're going to change major things in the way we operate our finances. Or this is something to finance the debt. But more and more, and the Democrats especially, they just come out with this, okay, we're going to call it a reconciliation package. We're going to label it as that so we can introduce legislation that gives goodies to all our pet projects, and we only have to get 50 votes in the Senate. It's a sham. It's a total sham. Well, we talked about Shelton Whitehouse and his super exclusive all-white beach club his family belongs to. He was actually confronted, and this is what he said. This is cut to. This is when Shelton Whitehouse was confronted about this in a recent interview. This is what he said about the beach club.
Back in 2017, you had expressed concerns about the membership of the all-white Bailey's Beach Club, said that you hoped it would become more diverse. Now, your family's been members. Your wife is one of the largest shareholders. Has there been any traction in that? Are there any minority members of the club now?
I think the people who are running the place are still working on that, and I'm sorry it hasn't happened yet.
Do you have concerns in 2021? I mean, obviously, it's been 4 years. You had remarks on the floor following the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd saying, hoping to root out systemic racism in the country. Your thoughts on an elite, all-white, wealthy club, again, in this day and age? Should these clubs continue to exist?
It's a long tradition in Rhode Island, and there are many of them. I think we just need to work our way through the issues. Thank you.
What's really interesting about the video on that, when Shelton Whitehouse was first starting to do this interview, he had this big gawky grin on his face, like, oh, yeah, okay, here's somebody from the liberal media is going to kiss my butt. Boy, his countenance changed quite significantly when he was asked about this all-white beach club. But the bad news for Shelton Whitehouse is that's not the only all-white club he's a member of. He's also a member of a sailing club. This particular sailing club is actually has listed as one of the Commodores from 1937 to 1940. It is a guy named Shelton Whitehouse. Apparently it was the senator's grandfather. So anyway, Shelton Whitehouse, who is all about racial equality, wanted to eliminate systemic racism after the George Floyd deal. An all-white beach club, an all-white sailing club seems to me a good example of systemic racism. Hey, we got to run. We'll do it again tomorrow at 5. See you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, all right, all right. In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.